Kia ora tātou everybody, and welcome to my latest rugby review of last night's All Blacks vs South Africa match in Wellington. And what a game it was, and I imagine everyone is probably about as stunned as I was last night seeing the result 36-34 to the Springboks in Wellington. A, the Springboks haven't beat us for quite some time, and B, to beat us at home is impeccable. So I have to just offer up my hugest congratulations to South Africa. I know the whole nation will be partying and celebrating, and the rest of New Zealand here is stunned. It was an amazing game last night. 11 tries in 80 minutes. That is huge. There was 70 points scored last night, 36-34 to South Africa. The All Blacks managed to score 6 tries to South Africa's 5, but it was probably the kicking that let us down on the scorecard. But within the game, we made a lot of mistakes, so let's get into it. A couple of quick talking points. South Africa early on almost looked like they were trying too hard to force the offloads and force the ball instead of taking it to the ground and recycling it, but they adjusted to that later on in the game, and that's where they sort of made their element. When they had the ball, they only actually had 25% of possession throughout the whole match. Only 25. New Zealand had 75%. And they did score 6 tries with that ball, but probably could have scored more. You know, they've had less possession in other games and scored more tries. So I think that fact right there will be annoying the All Blacks coaches and the team. Just like we made just little mistakes, like their second try to Willie le Roux from Jordie Barrett's silly pass was just a brain explosion. I mean, I see what he was trying to do, but unfortunately it just didn't pan out, and Willie le Roux, as soon as he gets the ball in space, he's gone. That boy is quick. Our third try to Rieko Ioane, which I thought may have been the turning point that the All Blacks were just going to switch on. The build up to that try, 20 phases leading up to that try, and we finally got over the line. So that's a credit to the South African defence, but a credit to the All Blacks' composure as well, to hold the ball for 20 phases, slowly grind out the Springboks, and put Ioane away in the corner. And then one more interesting point was the Handré Pollard and Elton Jantjies combination. Damien Delende went off injured in the second half, and Jantjies came on, so those two had to pair at first 5 and second 5, and I think that worked. I think that combination of those two players' skill, ability, and leadership and experience all came together, and I think that combo was somewhat of a mistake, but a good mistake because it worked, and I would actually like to see the South Africa play with that a little bit more now after seeing that come out last night. All Blacks only had to make about 45-ish tackles in the whole game because they had so much ball. And yet you look on the South Africa had to make well over 100, and then you look at the scorecard and you think, well, how did New Zealand not win, And, unfortunately for Beauden Barrett, 2 from 6 off the tee last night, but I'll talk about him later. Anyways, let's get into some player reviews. So, starting off with Jordie Barrett, he played 58 minutes. He scored a good early try, and when he scored that try, to be honest, I thought, wow, it's going to be a repeat of last year. Then Aaron Smith scored a try, and I happily laid back and said, this will be another repeat of last year's game. But I had to eat my words. South Africa played mean. Anyways, back to Jordie Barrett. He made 3 breaks. That silly pass though cost us that try. He wasn't asked to make any tackles, and he just lacked that injection. So I'm giving Jordie Barrett a 6. Plenty to work on from last night. Ben Smith, had a great first 20 minutes. I mean, superb. And the rest of the game, he wasn't bad. He was pretty solid. He wasn't flashy, though. He made tackles. He beat 7 defenders, which is pretty mean. He made 10 runs. Ben Smith's always reliable. He hasn't had a bad game in a long time, and he didn't have a bad game last night. He didn't have an outstanding game last night, but he had a good Ben Smith game, so for that reason alone, I give him a 7. Anton Lienert-Brown played 58 minutes last night. 36 metres, only asked to make 2. He only made 2 tackles in the midfield as well, which is pretty low by his standards. Just lacked that impact that he usually has, and I'm going to be honest, I like him more off the bench. I think he brings far more impact off the bench than he does starting. That's just my opinion. And I would like to see him be more used as a bench player. Not that he's not good enough to start, because he is. But last night sort of showed that he just lacked that oomph and that spark. So unfortunately, just got caught in the crowd last night, Anton Lienert-Brown, so I give him a 6. Ryan Crotty as well last night. I mean, great to see him back. He's been out with concussion problems. He made 27 metres off 14 runs. He only made 3 tackles, so our midfield only made 5 tackles combined, which isn't huge and not impressive. He did bust out the 80 minutes, but as Lienert-Brown just got caught in the crowd, had no room to do something spectacular. So for that reason alone, I give Ryan Crotty a 6. To be fair on him, it is his first game in quite a few weeks, so hopefully, All Blacks have a week off now. Maybe he'll come back, and hopefully a bit better. Rieko Ioane last night, superb with his pace. Managed to get 2 tries, made 6 from 8 tackles. Bet defenders, made 13 runs. Didn't get a lot of ball, but when he did, he used it and was a standout across the paddock in terms of the All Blacks. He didn't have an amazing game, but compared to everyone else, he did have a pretty good game. So for that reason, I give him a 7.5. Beauden Barrett, his last game he scored 4 tries. He silenced the haters. And then he comes out last night, 19 runs, but only 15 metres for Beauden Barrett. Only 15, that's really low. He only made 3 tackles, and his conversions were 2 from 6. Look, everyone has a bad game, and last night was just Beauden Barrett's bad game, and I think a lot of media have been hounding on him early this morning, last night, saying that it was horrible, that Mo'unga maybe should be back in there, but look, everyone has a bad game, and to be fair, last night was Beauden Barrett's bad game. I think from memory, his last bad game was last year against Argentina. He had a rough game, and he copped criticism. It was his bad game last night, and I think I'm going to give him a 5. But we know what he can do. We know he can come back from this. So I think people need to just, accept that he had a bad game and just move on. Aaron Smith last night clocked in 49 minutes, and his battle with Faf de Klerk I found really interesting. I think they both were annoying each other. They were both being niggly against each other. Aaron Smith, 1 try in the 15th minute, and I thought, oh, here we go. 6 runs. Look, he played pretty well, Aaron Smith. I mean, he could have had more runs, and Faf de Klerk did sort of counter him a lot. And I think Faf de Klerk did win that battle in the end. So for that, I give Aaron Smith a 6.5. Then you look at Kieran Reid, who played 80 minutes, but only made 5 tackles. And for Kieran Reid, that's extremely low. This bloke usually makes 18 to 20 tackles. Maybe that's because the All Blacks had 75% of possession. He had 26 carries, but only made 13 metres. So he was there, but he just didn't quite get over the advantage line enough, and he was shut down pretty well by the Springboks, so credit to them. So I'm only giving Kieran Reid a 6.5 as well. Same with Sam Cane, 68 minutes. He made 7 tackles and had 8 carries. He was pretty good at breakdown time, but was just lacking that oomph that we were hoping. So another 6.5 performance, in my opinion. Then you go to someone like Liam Squire, 58 minutes, 7 tackles, 8 runs, 8 metres. He looked sore though, and I thought he was going to get taken off at half-time. Not to be the case. Soldiered on for another 18 minutes. Looked sore, got replaced by Patrick Tuipulotu. I don't know what was quite wrong with there, and I think maybe that injury was hampering his performance. I give him a solid 6. But Liam Squire's form this year, over the basis, I haven't rated him overly highly. I just need him to have just that one game to get his confidence back. And with someone like Shannon Frizzell napping at his heels, he better step up soon. Scott Barrett, 80 minutes, was forced to play flanker for the remaining quarter of the game, which he's played before, so that's not big. Made 4 from 4 tackles, had 11 runs, but he had 3 handling errors, which is the most in the game, a little bit niggly. I mean, his lineouts were good. He had a pretty solid game though, all in all, if you watch it without being flashy. Like, he was always at those breakdowns being niggly, and he was making some pretty good tackles. So over there, I give him a 6.5 as well. Sounds repetitive, but across the board, that's sort of what the All Blacks, that's how they played last night. Sam Whitelock, another good 80-minute performance from him. Didn't miss a tackle, made 8 from 8 tackles, which again for him is low, but I credit that to all the possession that we managed to have in that game. Like, he had 11 runs, not for a lot of metres. He was good at line-out time. So I give him a solid 7 because he didn't do anything wrong and he was pretty solid around the basis of the game. Owen Franks, a classic 47-minute stint from him, made 2 tackles, only 3 carries, scrummed really well. So I'm going to give him a solid 6.5 just because I thought usually Owen Franks, again, makes more tackles and I thought maybe he should have had more carries, but that's how it panned out. Cody Taylor really impressed me last night. Good 75-minute effort from him. Good try as well. There's a good reward for a pretty good game. Didn't miss a tackle. Had 11 runs for 33 metres. So it's good to see Cody Taylor getting more running time. And yeah, I'm going to give Cody Taylor a solid 7. I thought his lineouts were really good as well, and he scrummed well. And, in a struggling All Blacks team, he stepped up. And I was impressed. So for that, yeah, solid 7. Karl Tuinukuafe, for me, I gave quite a good score based on last night, It was good to see him carry with the ball, because we haven't seen that a lot from Tuinukuafe. I mean, we've seen him, obviously, carry and used as a battering ram, but to see the ball in space for such a powerful bloke was quite interesting. He made 5 runs and made 25 metres. He scrummed really well, and he's one of the best scrummagers in the world, in my opinion. And I think, when, like, Hames and Laulala, Tumunga Allen and Moody all come back into the frame come World Cup time. And I think he will definitely be one of our 5 or 6 props selected because I think he is great. So 7.5 from him last night. Quick rundown of the bench. Liam Coltman only got 5 minutes. Congratulations on another test cap for you. I know they are far few between, but had it, congratulations, you've earned it. Wasn't really able to rate him though on 5 minutes. Tim Perry, 22 minutes, had 3 carries, scrummed okay, so I give him a solid 6. Ofa Tu'ungafasi, 33 minutes, 14 carries in that 33 minutes for Ofa Tu'ungafasi. For a prop, I thought that was mad, but that was really good. Didn't miss a tackle. Look, he dropped 1 ball in our 22, but it was just that night where mistakes were being made. So I thought a solid 7. Patrick Tuipulotu, congratulations on your being recalled into the squad. 22 minutes, 7 runs, dropped the ball twice, so and yet again one drop in the 22 in a crucial stage, so I give him a 6. Ardie Savea played 12 minutes, and it's sort of hard to rate a bloke on a 12-minute performance. He had 7 carries though, which is huge, and managed to score a try. So in 12 minutes, I'm going to just give him a 7 for his time on the field. TJ Perenara, 31 minutes, 4 runs, impact, carried on from his game last week. He was good, he was sharp, communicated well with the black back line. His distribution of the ball is really good, and you can just see there's a bit of spark when he comes on the paddock, so I give him a 7. Jet Goodhue was my standout off the bench last night. 22 minutes, 7 runs, 40 metres, beat 5 defenders, wasn't required to make a tackle. So I give him a straight 7.5 for just his impact and his urgency. It was great to see, and I think he deserves that 13 jersey, in my opinion. And lastly, Damien McKenzie, 22 minutes, 7 runs, 63 metres, 2 clean breaks. So a 7.5 for him as well. So all in all, look, All Blacks didn't score that highly. There are a couple of standouts, and I think, there's a lot to work on. 100% credit to South Africa for that win. That was amazing. Confidence booster, not only for their team, but for their nation as well. It gives them some belief. And quickly, congratulations to Argentina for going to the Gold Coast last night and beating Australia 23-19. A very niggly and heated game, I must say, but it was pretty good. Congratulations to the Pumas. Yet again, a huge win, not just for their team, but for their nation and for the sport of rugby. So, interesting game. All Blacks have a week off now. Some players will go play ITM Cup. Let me know what you thought of the game and what you think of my player reviews. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in 2 weeks when the All Blacks travel to Argentina.